right, yo, everybody. This is the MindBodyMarathon podcast. So we got another show today talking about ultra distance running and ultramarathoning. And on today's show, we have legendary Connie Gardner with us, who is on my right, and massage therapist Zach Goulet, who's now kind of a burgeoning ultramarathoner.
Yeah.
And so today we're going to kind of talk about some fun stories and kind of the career of the famous Connie Gardner. Who I knew this before about Connie. So we're in Northeast Ohio, so Cleveland, Akron area. And Connie is a legend in our area. And she's had some American records and some other great records. And we'll of course touch on those. But yeah, Connie, I always heard this about you, but in college you were actually a rower, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us about those days.
That's
obviously not ultramarathoning.
No,
Complete opposite of it, really.
Yeah, but you have a window of opportunity. Like, when can you jump into an 8-man boat? So when you're in college, I can run any time of my life. I had run all my whole life. I had run since I was little, and then and I did still run marathons during season.
In college, you did?
Yeah.
What college did you go to?
Massachusetts, University of Massachusetts.
Oh,
UMass. So they're not on the map.
Zoomass.
Oh
yeah.
Whoa.
Yes, I think we were #1 in the nation for partying.
Partying?
Yes, we beat OU. The year I was there. Yeah.
We
were neck and neck with OU. Those were the stats, like in a long time ago.
Because people from Massachusetts have like a presence about them, about being like,
oh no.
Like,
this is a state school.
But it's still
this is the school that
this is where all the
so if you're from Massachusetts, you're going to UMass as like, all the rejection letters come, and then it's like,
we're going to UMass.
I'm going to UMass. Yeah. It's not. It sounds good. I shouldn't have said anything. Because people would think, oh, she went to UMass. She's probably smart, right?
Yeah. They just joined the MAC though, didn't they? Is that the same UMass? Yeah.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Yes.
What schools have joined the MAC? Is it just UMass?
I think just this year, and then they're looking to add a few more.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But how did you get into rowing though? Like, how did that happen? If you were always a runner, like
I don't know. I met somebody talking about rowing. I thought, give it a try. Wait,
and you're super strong, so that worked in your favor.
Yeah, and then I can get strong fast. I got strong quickly.
Oh, you lucky dog.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you row all 4 years?
I rowed 3 years. 3 years. I started off at Ohio State and then transferred to UMass.
Okay. So where are you originally from?
Where was I born?
Yeah.
DC.
Okay.
Isn't that cool?
That is actually pretty cool.
I think it's pretty cool. Yeah. It's like I'm an American, like all American.
True
like
American.
DC, like yeah.
That's awesome.
Your birth certificate.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it says Washington DC. Isn't that cool?
Yeah. Number 51. Okay, so then you went into rowing, and then at what point did you, when you got out of college, at what point did you start to jump into the crazy distances?
Oh. So I started running marathons when I was 17. And then after college, I took my degree in sports management, and I became a bicycle messenger in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
It's pretty good, right? And then
how did you end up in Portland?
This is taking a different
whatever.
Okay, so we're not talking about that.
Regardless, I end up there. I become a bicycle messenger.
Messenger?
Okay, think about this. I'm really old. So like this is there's no emails yet. That old.
You were the email.
Yeah. So you carry all the papers from office to office. I was very busy.
Yeah.
Very busy.
What a fun job.
That's where those quads got.
Yeah, what a fun job.
That's where those quads got born.
They got so they started off, the rowing made them beef up. And then the cycling was it got really crazy. Yeah, I got really fit. But then you meet different people and running. So I would run after work with running groups and stuff like that. Everybody was super cool there. You meet people would request me to deliver stuff.
Yeah.
Like the offices. Because, everyone that I worked with was.
Were you like the road runner, like for like bicycle messaging?
Well, the deal is.
I'll get there, no problem.
Well, no. Yeah. They can count on me. No, the other ones, the guys I worked with, a lot of them were, habits, bad habits, you know, so they're
Okay.
in like a lot
Yeah,
of drugs, a lot
Yeah.
of drugs, and
Less dependable.
perhaps yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was, and they were probably delivering other things.
Mhm.
And so I was like clean cut, you know,
Yeah.
coming out of UMass.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Zoom ass.
I was, most of them didn't have high school degrees and I had a college degree. So the offices, they liked it when I showed up.
Oh yeah.
You know, so I was very busy, but then you meet people and then they get you, I would be running with them and running groups
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And I remember running out there once and they were saying, wow, I had been running a bunch of marathons and I don't get faster, but I just don't get tired.
Right.
And people seem to realize that. Like
Yeah.
you ride for 8
Well-
hours for work and then you go run 10 miles. And they're like, man, they were telling me about these ultra races.
So, okay, circa what time frame?
Mid 80s.
That's so cool.
That's like in the
That is so cool.
Yeah,
Mid
that is.
80s.
That's like the
They had,
archaic
like,
ages.
Yeah, they had a 6-hour race they wanted me to go to and stuff like that. Then I ended up moving a couple times. Kids. But I always thought, like in the back of my brain, like,
Moving and then
I'd
kids,
like
and
to-
you kind of thought about it.
the whole time you're thinking, like, yeah, I really should dabble in this stuff. I really don't seem to be getting tired.
Well,
you know?
what's funny is that you just said like, yeah, they have like a 6-hour race, and that's like a walk in the park anymore.
Yeah, I know. Well, they had, it was
Like
like
it's weird for me to even hear you say that. Like, oh yeah, they
Yeah.
have this like 6-hour race, like this.
Yeah,
ultra
that's
race.
like a
you have to
training
try
run for an
and then-
average ultra guy right now.
I'm gonna
Well,
do that
that's-
Sunday.
Yeah, no, I had read about Western States and I thought, oh yeah, it's something I'd like to do that. I'd like to experience that. I just
Mhm.
wanted to go get to Western States and experience, just be able to go run through the mountains. And I had seen some pictures of the course and I thought, wow, I'll just try to do this by the time I'm 40
Yeah.
because, you know, you're busy with stuff. So just stay fit. And then when I'm 40, things will smooth out. The kids will be a good age and then I can try to get out. And it worked out that way.
So
I got
prior
there.
to
I got there
cool.
just before 40, I think.
yeah. So how many marathons had you run prior to the dabbling? Right around 40.
It was 20 years of marathoning.
You're
So then I knew
like, I
then
actually don't know the number on that because
I
it's too
get-
much.
It was years of marathoning.
20 years of marathoning. And it's like you know, it's like sometimes you run a marathon to train for another marathon, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it was like going, when I think back at like what I was doing as a kid, running places
Yeah.
and running to get my brain in the right
Yeah, exactly.
spot, like running before school to try to be able to sit in school. And then
So you knew that
running
about
after-
yourself. You were
Yeah.
like really ADHD or something, and you're like,
perhaps, I don't know. I don't
you
know.
just had
I
to
was,
like,
I was like a really nice child, really good person, but I happened to get paddled a lot. For some reason, I was a very good student, but the teachers just did not like
They
me.
didn't understand it.
I don't-
They couldn't see
but
through the blinds.
I swear I was good. They couldn't see
just
the blinds.
battled me a lot.
I'll keep you to your word.
It was-
So you're like, I got to run before school so I don't get paddled.
yeah, like things like that. And they were paddling me in public school.
Oh,
public school.
no.
And then your parents can't find out about it, you
Yeah.
know, because you're a good person.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah,
they
you're a
find
good
out,
kid.
if they find out I'm getting paddled in school, then I'm not a good kid anymore. Right.
Yeah.
So you took it upon yourself to run before school.
I found out that worked.
That worked the best.
That
Yeah.
helped. That helped out a lot.
And
In high school too, it was hard to focus on just what I was supposed to be doing.
Mhm.
And you see everything going on around you. And then when I would get out, all I needed was just to run down to the river, watch the sun come up, run home, and go to school.
That's so interesting.
Well, what's amazing
Yeah.
about
That's so
is that
interesting.
when you say like, you know, because when you run long distances, you're solely focused on running in a weird way. But like,
Mhm.
it was like the focusing on the thing and the task. Well, one, obviously the running tired you out enough to like calm your brain down. And there's that concept. But the other concept is that you had the mental like aptitude. It was in there. It wasn't like you were like always distracted by everything. You had the ability to focus, but it wasn't on maybe the things that were in school and things like that.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah,
Well,
Activity.
sure. Yeah.
well, like with my patient, or like with my clientele, I do have a couple of teachers, and we'll talk about, you know, ADHD or ADD, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole, but I was diagnosed at a young age. I was diagnosed with ADHD in first grade. I'll never forget it. And like I went in to have like a tutor. I had an IEP. I had all this stuff. I was told like, you're not
Yes.
smart
No.
enough. You're not. And looking back on it, because I really excelled in college. And when I put my mind to it in high school, when I realized I could go to college based off of my running, I was able to focus. But when I was in elementary school, all I needed to do was get to school early, go run around in the gym.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that was never an option because I was
Oh.
always good after recess.
Yeah.
Like before recess, I was just like mind going a mile a minute everywhere, not focused. And then after recess, I was tired out. I was dialed in.
I think most kids could
Yeah.
benefit from just going for a walk before
Yeah,
school.
100%.
Yeah, definitely. It puts your brain on an even keel, and then
Mhm.
and then you can focus a bit. But like when there were no IEPs, and there were no ADHD didn't exist.
Yeah, it wasn't really
Mhm.
formally organized.
None of this stuff existed. Now where I think it's very helpful that it's like a heads up, like this person might need a little help with this or that, but it's okay, it's fine. But there was no Ritalin or anything or whatever, So and then you just have to figure out a way
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
to fit in.
So 40-ish, you started to kind of dabble with some ultra stuff.
Yeah.
What did you dabble with? Like what did you get involved? Like what was some of your first races early on?
First, Buckeye Trail 50K.
Yeah.
Buckeye Trail 50K. It
So
used to be
circa what year? How old are you?
60,
So 20 years ago.
38, 20 something, 22.
22 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So when did that race actually
Whoa.
start?
A little bit before that. What they did, it was somebody's birthday. It was Joe Jursik's birthday. It was a birthday run.
Okay.
So people did it like that. And then what it was like the Godales were big with it, they kept it rolling. There were some good old time ultra runners like Terry Fox, and they would put a clipboard at the trail head in Brecksville. There'd be like 30, 40 people showing up, and everyone was legit. Like good runners. And you sign your name on the clipboard, and then there was a stopwatch, and you go run to Peninsula and back. And we took the Buckeye Trail. So if you follow the real Buckeye Trail, you go up to Brecksville Road. So it's actually 34 miles, the original. And they say no aid, no, but people would show up and people would show up at Snowville Road and then the turn Peninsula, and they'd have like a cooler or something or Gatorade, and so you'd have a place in Snowville Road and then in Peninsula where you could get some stuff and come back. Steve Godale would leave gallon jugs of water. He still does on the course at the same spot.
Yeah.
So if you need water, there's gallons of water out there. So you just sign your name, you go race it, and when you finish, you put your time down next to your name and go home.
Love it. I love it so much.
And I miss those days so
I
much
know.
because now it's just like it's silly, and they charge so much to enter, and I wouldn't have been able to. I wouldn't pay the entry fees if they did this. I wouldn't have been able to do half the races because I had kids and other priorities. And so a lot of my races when I first started they're called fat asses, and they're just free, no aid and no awards, and it's like pretty good. But that's like a first 50K for me. I think that's a good one.
That's a really good one. See, I like now like things for you have changed where I'm getting now into ultra running, and for me it's like you go from the road racing series where it's like in your face DJ playing, like medal ceremony, everyone like doing all their stuff. Well, my first race was Nomis down in Tuscarora.
That's good.
And it was a phenomenal race. So my first year doing it, it was awesome. Like you show up, they have like the thing. At one point they like go over, or they do the technical meeting, and then they're like, all right, everyone walk out of this this building, go to the start line. We're gonna do the national anthem, then we're gonna get going. So like we all go out there, we're all talking. And the race director goes, sorry, we forgot to do the national anthem. So on your mark, get set, go. And like we all just take off. And then I finish, and it's like it's my brother-in-law, sister-in-law, and my father-in-law, and then like some other people that were there cheering me on. And then I finish, and the guy goes, congratulations, first male to finish, second overall. Go grab a gnome off the table. Hopefully see you here next year.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
was awesome. Like
But
I
I
loved
think
everything about that.
Yeah, I really like that. I like just people, you come to the
Mhm.
starting line, everybody's at a race. But the thing is, it was like I say, there were pretty fast times
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
It's a competitive race, and that's all you're after is just to see how
Well,
fast you can go,
you're,
how far
you're
you
wearing
can
a
go.
2001 Boston Marathon shirt. I mean, that's what Boston used to do. It just used to be sub 3 and you're in.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah,
if you don't run sub 3, I'm sorry. Like, you can't run.
that's correct. It was sub 3 for men and sub 320 for women.
Yeah.
And that was that. And that's why I always thought if I don't run under 320, I'm not running Boston,
Yeah.
you know? Like I'll only get, I don't care what my age is, but now I have to, that kind of changed. Now I
Yeah.
kind of appreciate the age group thing, but and up until 50, it's like you want to, you know,
Yeah.
but the races were great. So I did Buckeye Trail 50K. And then somebody right after, there was a guy, he was like 80, Leo Lightner.
Yeah.
Oh my
time.
gosh.
Man.
He's
Leo
amazing.
Lightner.
Okay, you know
What
what?
an
Yeah.
amazing
guy.
guy. Yeah.
Okay, so he's
We all
awesome.
love Leo.
Okay, yeah. So he's like after that, he's like, Connie, you got to run Mohican 100. I said, well, let me run a 50 miler first.
I
He's
believe
like,
you just talked about Leo Lightner. That's
I know,
awesome.
that's a
he's
blast
like,
from the past,
oh,
man.
you got to run Mohican. And I said, let me run a 50 miler. I'll see how I do the 50, and then I'll think about Mohican. So we all went down and did a 50 miler in Kentucky. And it was trails, technical. It was the guy was to put it on. I knew I'd have trouble with names, but it was like a low key race where like when you win, you get like you finish, you get a dozen eggs.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was like he
Oh my
worked at the
gosh.
college. He was a professor at a college. Everyone, yeah, when you finished it, you did that. But like I took it out and I'm running, and you're running through the woods. I'm just following people. And then I get to like mile 30, catch a guy, then I catch another guy. And I get up to, I think it was Terry Fox. And I said, hey, how many people are out there? Like who's ahead of us?
Yeah.
He's like, it's just us. And then he looked like he was going to like shit himself, like, cause it's just like, the last thing you want is like
Yeah.
me up there because
He's
he's just
like,
like, oh my gosh, she's not even a runner. Like I just got into
He's a
it.
rower right here.
And then I'm like right next to him.
Look at her quads.
And then,
Gosh.
then we ran together for a minute. Then he kind of drops me. And then like right about mile 40, I just hit the wall hard. And I'm thinking, wow, it was like a really funny feeling. Cause you know how you read about hitting the wall and that never happened.
It's
Well,
delirium.
then all of a sudden it's just like,
You're in another state of mind.
it was great though. It was like a really funny feeling. Like this must be hitting the wall. I can't go another step. And then I like walking a little bit in the woods. And then there was a cooler, an unmanned aid station. It was just a cooler. And I opened it up and there was a sandwich, a peanut butter sandwich, like a half. And I just was hiking fast and eating and thinking, this is incredible. Like I don't know if I can get through.
Your like sensories heightened.
Yeah. But then all of a sudden, like a minute later, everything felt great. And I thought, wait a minute. That was magical. That peanut butter sandwich was magical.
Oh,
and then,
that?
all of a sudden I just like start running again. I'm thinking I can catch him. And then I just hammered like the last 5 miles. And I'm just like, I finished like right. Like I could see him cross the line. I thought, shit, like I almost won it outright. And that was my first 50 mile. And Leo was there. And Leo, like right when I finished, he's like, here you go, Connie. And you handed me the paper entry for Mohican 100. You said, sign up. So, so that was pretty good, right? So that, and then so I brought it home and I signed up for Mohican 100.
That's some amazing stuff right there.
Yeah. And then the same stuff happened in Mohican. It was like, oh, Leo telling me how to run 100. He's like, you are
believe this. I didn't even know you like cross paths with Leo Lightner.
Oh,
just like Leo was a longtime patient of ours, and
he was.
Yeah. And rest in peace. This guy was awesome.
Guy was amazing.
And he's on our wall upstairs.
He should be.
He's running with Scott Turk.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize he had this until after he had this great past. I mean, he was an amazing guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was like a Renaissance man.
Mm-hmm. We have a bunch right here from Northeast Ohio.
Yeah, we got a lot of Mavericks.
Yeah.
We got a lot.
Yeah.
It's not like they're not doing it now. We have people that started this, and it's not now.
Right.
Yeah.
But Leo Lightners, they're the ones that got us all going. Yeah,
He was a long time smoker.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Leo like smoked for 50 years, some crazy number. Like,
that makes. I mean, it's just.
I mean,
time.
and no, it's
Yeah.
true. And he was the nicest soul you'll ever meet. He was
Oh,
the
yeah.
kindest guy of all time. And yeah, he just was having some mental struggles one day and was just like, well, kind of just want to go for a run. And that's how it started for him.
Oh, I never knew.
Yeah.
I just knew him from like he was like the first to really get me like make sure I did this. Like after Buckeye Trail 50K,
And he saw the
he was the
potential
one
in
that
you.
made sure that I did 50. Like he said, okay, do this 50. And then I went and did that 50.
That gives me goosebumps.
And then
I just love it.
But then
Yeah.
what he said, like right when I finished that 50, the first thing he said is like, okay, he's give me the entry form for Mohican 100. You're gonna love this. It's like he said, what happens? You're gonna be running along 60 miles, you get to 70 miles, you get to 80. You cannot run another step. I mean, you can't run another step. And then somehow you run 20 more miles.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. And I was just thinking, wow, like that, the body's pretty amazing. I want to see what my body can do.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, I read, like in high school, I read an article like that your mind goes before your body goes.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
this is what Leo's telling me.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can still keep that body going,
Mhm.
even though, so don't let my mind go. But then I went to Mohican and, I've been running my whole life and 5Ks, 10Ks, they're not like a lot of 10Ks in the 70s and 80s. It's like in marathons, it's just, yeah. I forgot what I was going to say. It's just,
So you
never-
were going on about Mohican and kind of
Yeah,
that
so it's
first
just like-
experience of the
so
last.
it's just like, so I was always trying to get better. Like in high school, we had 2-mile races. I'm always trying to get better and better and better, faster. And I could never figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
I did my best to figure it out, to get this body to go as fast as it can go. I did my best. And
Yeah.
it was years and years and years of that. And then I get to Mohican and I get to mile 80. I run into an aid station. I say, hey, I have no idea where I am. Hey, what mile is this? And they say, you're about 82. And I thought, wow, I feel fine.
That's
Like,
amazing.
This is it. This is great. And then I get to mile like 85, 90, like 5-10 miles later, I think, wow, this is really like what I'm set up for. This is what I'm meant to do.
Yeah.
This is it. I get to like mile 95 and I think, why can't I just be good at like a 10K?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Took you
why
95
does
miles to
it
realize
have
that.
to be this?
Well, that's
I can't even tell anybody about it. At that time, I had young kids. I can't go tell. I'm not going to go tell people. I don't want it to be in the newspaper. I don't even know I just raced
Yeah.
100 miles. It's like so bizarre.
You
It's
were
like
a psycho back
it's
then.
exactly. It's not
That's
anything to be
amazing.
You
proud
mean
of.
you're gonna go run 100 miles
No,
instead of taking care of your kids?
Thank you.
You
Yes.
serious?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So you just ran 100, and do you know your child can't count change? Like, do you know your child can't do this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I
Oh
won.
my God. That's even worse. Oh my gosh.
But I won.
Is that yeah. It's tricky to like and come back. But then the way I kept it going was like it started to get really fun where I could, like the next year I go to Western States and I sneak away. You just like you leave on like a Thursday.
Yeah.
You get there Friday, go to the meeting, fly through night, get to the meeting Friday, run 100 miles in Sierra Nevada Saturday, fly home Sunday. No one knows I was gone. I covered 100 miles in Sierra Nevada. I go to like the tennis club
Honey,
pool,
that is
the
ridiculous.
swimming club pool, and you're just like walking around watching the kids, the other moms. No one knows, and I kind of got off on that. Like
Yeah.
I think it was just like it was my own little world. that no one needs to know about.
Yeah, your
Well,
own
even-
personal craziness.
Well,
Yes,
even now, like, even though it's like much more mainstream now,
Mhm.
but like, you feel really silly when you tell somebody what you did, because they'll be
Mhm.
like, "So how was your weekend?" And you're like,
Yes.
just did 50 miles."
Yes.
Yeah,
What?
you're like, you're not gonna. I don't want to get into
Yeah,
it. Just,
yeah.
I had fun.
Yeah,
It was a great
Yeah,
weekend.
that's exactly what
I
it is.
enjoyed the sun. It was nice.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it.
You go to room to room to room in the canyon, and it's like, you come home, and it's basically I'm going for a weekend, and the adventure. And I
Yeah,
saw
the views
all
are
the
nice. That was about it.
seasons.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's no point in even trying to describe it
because
but
nobody will understand.
Yeah, and they don't need to.
They don't need to. No, they don't.
Well,
Yeah.
what I'm fascinating, I mean, this is just so interesting to me that over 20 years ago, that there was infrastructure in Northeast Ohio enough that there was all these ultras, like that Mohican 100 existed.
We were the 4 longest running hundreds in the country are Vermont, Mohican, Old Dominion, and Western States.
That's
I freaking love that, dude.
Yeah,
Dude, that's amazing.
yeah. So it's like
That makes me want to do it next
Mohican
year.
is a classic, and it's the 100. You got to do the 100. They have all these the other races. I don't know. When they put the marathon in and the 50 mile in the same race, I think it
What,
takes.
was it
takes away
always the
from it.
same loops?
No. Mohican used to be a butterfly. Like this.
Okay.
And that's kind of funny too, because I've had people that have come up to me and they've looked at my times from the past and they say, well, I heard that course was much faster. I'm thinking, all right, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just stop.
Like they say it's more difficult to run the same loop over and over. I'm thinking it couldn't be easier to run. If you run the same loop, you
Right.
you don't have any, like I got lost so many times on that freaking trail.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's we were running on horse trails just through thick mud. There was a point where, the covered bridges in Mohican, they didn't let us use the bridge. They made us run through the river. It's freaking stupid. But that's the way the course went. That's the
Right.
original course.
Right.
So you're running through the river.
Well, it's like the old school, like New York Marathon. They used to make them run like up the stairs on the walkway and not close down bridges.
there. Yeah.
Like you had to run zigzag up the stairs and cross the bridge
And then
for like the first couple of New York marathons.
Mhm.
And like
but people-
Salazar did that. Like he did, like Salazar.
yeah.
Just
It's-
ragtag it, man. That's awesome. Just
But
ragtag it.
Mohican it was very, very challenging. But it's the same thing when somebody says like, "Oh, the course is much more difficult now," and then somebody was pointing that to me, and I said, "Well, see the times there." She was pointing out the times on the Mohican. When you go down there, they have this board, and they put like the winning times for every year or something. I didn't, yeah, and then. So my name pops up and she's like, well, this was a much easier course when I'm running like 18 hours. I said, well, this one right here is on your course. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said this time down here,
Yeah.
it's equally, it's the same thing.
Yes.
It's on the other course. It's like, it's 100 miles through Mohican Park.
Right.
It's all challenging. It's all
Yeah.
very difficult.
I do
And
agree with you though. Loops on a
Loops-
race, like loops are easier.
Much better to know.
Like we're intrinsically like, I mean, the Japanese train in like 2K loops. I mean, they'll do like 200 Ks a week
Yeah.
on 2K loops.
Correct.
And like a track, like you
Mhm.
just you see the same people, you're going to hear the same
Mhm.
things, you're going to have an aid station, things are coming. But if you're out in the wilderness on this crazy old school butterfly trail,
You're not quite sure. You never
Right.
cross the
Yes.
same thing twice, and you're thinking, this aid station is coming up right here, and then you make this huge climb, and then you're just all alone in the woods, and it's like, oh, fuck,
Right.
I'm not. It's
Well,
not
and I
that.
don't even like
There's a
that.
false summit, then you go down, and then you're coming again, and then you're thinking,
False
did I
summit.
take a wrong turn? Did I take a wrong turn?
I don't even
You know,
like
like
when
you're
people
going up
say that. That's just
and you're
terrible
just
to
like,
say.
I know
It's-
you can't diminish
You
things
can't-
what people did in
dude.
the past. Like you weren't there that day. You don't
weren't.
know.
yeah,
Well-
that's the thing. But then at the same time, it's like it doesn't really matter. It's like, okay,
Well,
I get-
yeah.
I'm happy you're so proud of
Yeah.
the way you're running now. That's great. I never had that feeling, because I've never
Yeah.
been happy with any performance I've ever done. Yeah, like you've got to think.
Well, okay, so this is a great time. So,
Yeah.
what stands out to you as the absolute climax of your career? as this is the thing I'm most proud of?
Okay. See, once again, it was almost there. It was almost there. Worlds. I was like, it was the year I was turning 50. So it was like 10 years ago. Worlds. I'm in Poland. And I did the math. So I don't like, you know how I did want to set the American record.
World what? World 100?
24 hours.
World 24.
So that's okay.
And
Right there, when I say 24 hours, then it's just like, it's more like, this has got to be something for me. I'm not trying to impress anyone, because that's a really stupid thing to do. That's where the book is like my kind of stupid. It's just my world. My
Yes.
stupid world is different.
Okay.
It's like, it means something to me. So it's not, but so the rest.
Well, that's why I wanted to ask the question. I want to know what you feel like
Right.
your climax is.
So in that rate, I had wanted to, just because I had done the math, I knew I could run 150 miles in a day.
Okay.
Right. So I had a method, and I mastered it, and it was set. Right. So I just need a day. So I'm at a world competition. So you have the best in the world, and I'm running for USA, and you have the gear. So that should like make me feel like
Proud.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Give you a little incentive.
All that, like you kind of,
Yeah.
it's like putting on a nice pair of spikes. Like
Yeah,
if
it's
you're wearing a
good.
good
Yeah.
kit
There's some
USA
value to
track and
that.
field, right?
Buttoned up.
So yeah, and I at the same time, every time I put on a USA track and field outfit, I thought like you do feel like an imposter, like I would, I did, because the thing is, I'm turning 50 at the time, so it's like I get there, and I was like 8 hours into the run. I asked them that we had like team managers, and I asked them if they could just tell me when I went through the 100 miles. And I just wanted feedback twice at like 16 hours. And I wanted to know when I went through the 100, because 16 hours is when the race begins. You have the final 8 hours to accomplish what you need to do. And that's where you really have to focus.
So that was part of your strategy.
That's my strategy. So that's all I needed. I don't need you for anything
Get to
else.
16, get
Yeah.
to a certain point. and
I'm
then-
going to be solidly into 100 miles. And then I just have 50 to go in 8 hours. It's all doable,
Yeah.
So I asked them where I was, and and this is like the team managers, whatever. They're like looking at me like, well, you're in Poland. I'm thinking, what? No, what? And then you have to run another loop. And then when the board comes up, when you're running by, they have a leaderboard up and numbers pop up. It's all kilometers.
Yeah.
I'm in Poland, and then the other thing is my name will pop up after I pass, so I can't tell
you can't
where.
tell, yeah.
I don't know where
Can't
I
turn
am.
back around and
But
look.
I was just thinking, I'm having a really good day. Like there were no hurdles. I don't know why. Every once, if you run 200 marathons, you're going to have a couple where there are no hurdles. Where you think,
Yeah.
oh my
Right.
gosh,
It's the smoothest thing ever.
Yeah.
It keeps you addicted to it.
Mhm.
you might have a couple, or it's like hitting a hole in one and golf, which I've done before. But it's like,
Dang.
Yeah, we're learning so much right now.
but it's like it's but this was that day where I can see everything's going great. The only problem was I didn't have any feedback.
Hmm.
And the other problem was I had my stuff in a bin on the table, and all the gels that I use and the drinks that I use, I made
Yeah.
it all up, and they're supposed to hand it to me. And I'm thinking, you don't need to touch it. Just don't touch my stuff. Like it's right here. And I want it right here. And I'll be
Yeah.
able to grab what I need when I need it. I know what I'm doing. They took everything off the table and put it behind the table.
Oh,
So I would ask for a gel, and they're handing me somebody else's gel.
Oh,
And I'm
my
like,
goodness.
I can't do that. I worry about sugars. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm only hammer gel. This is all I've used, and it works like magic. So that was kind of the only flaws in the day were like that. I wasn't given proper nutrition, which is a big deal. And I didn't know where I was, which
the
is for
deal.
pacing. And I've never used like a Garmin, this is like, I have nothing.
She has
You
no
see-
watched tan
No
line.
watch tan line. Yeah, I
Oh,
don't do
dude,
that.
dude, I have it. I have all you guys
You're this
beat.
guy.
Yeah.
Dude, I have all
see?
you guys beat.
This shiner of a watch.
That's
I don't know who's worse.
you're both. You're taking all the fun out of it. But anyway, it's like
No, this keeps me on track during work.
Oh,
we text each other during work.
oh, that's really funny.
It's really more for like work than it is for
Yeah.
actual like timing.
But it's like so then when I finished, it's like I finished it and a horn goes off. You're in this 24-hour race, and somehow I just end up on the ground. So I guess like when you're running these things, I feel like a lot of times I felt pretty good. Like at the end, like I'm running, just nice rhythm, moving along, everything's great. And I'll see other people and I'll think, man, I'm glad I don't look that bad.
Yeah.
But it's all in my brain. I do look that bad, but I'm not, because I've seen pictures. But in my brain, I think I'm pretty strong. But all of a sudden the horn goes off, I'm on the ground. And then I'm laying there. And then the team from Great Britain was like, hey, you got to go over to awards. And they helped me up and bring me over to like podium or whatever. But then I had to go get drug tested. And I couldn't pee. You have to pee in a cup, you know?
Yeah, I'm
How do you
sure
pee?
that was going to take a
You run
while.
for 24 straight hours. So I'm sitting in there for hours with somebody that doesn't speak English, and she's trying to wait for me to pee in a cup, and I can't pee in a cup. And it's hours. So I finished like the best race of my life, best run of my life. Then by the time I get back to the dorms, my friend's boyfriend is like, hey, Connie, I think you got the American record. I'm doing the math here. And it's like,
So what was it?
and it was, the American record had been 145 and I got 149 point something.
You're right there.
Yeah.
That's amazing, though.
Yeah, but if I would have had somebody say kick, I would have done it. You know what I mean?
Goodness, I hear what you're saying.
I didn't
Yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
didn't know. If I would have known, I definitely could. If I would have known at 20 hours, if I would have known at 16 hours,
And
I
you
would've got it.
requested 2 things.
Yeah. If I would have
3
known,
things, really.
if I
Don't
would have
touch my
known at
stuff.
16 hours,
Well-
exactly where I was, it would have been fine.
This is the thing. It's like when you get into these international races and, you watch like the Olympics and you think, we saw this with Sha'Carri and Shelley and Fraser. Like there are so many circumstances that happen behind the scenes that, food is different. Like,
Mhm.
like structuring warm-ups is different. Like everything is different. You just have to roll with the punches. And like you were saying, like you run the race of your life and you end up in drug testing for 2 hours afterwards.
More.
Like-
I don't know, forever.
like-
Yeah. But it's not like, but I didn't even know. At the time,
You had no
I'm
idea.
like, I'm in there with a bunch of strangers and the team's already back in the dorms. And, I got to.
So what did you place?
Well, this is really sad. It's really tough because it's the Worlds, and there's a girl from Great Britain. She's awesome, and she was just crushing it. And then at like 20 hours in, I was starting to see her down, and she was like hurting. And I thought, okay, I could be. And I did ask one of the guys, the manager. I don't even want to mention his name because Mike Spindler he's race directs JFK, but I mentioned his name.
It's okay.
I said to him, hey, what place am I in? Because after I saw her drop out, I didn't know who else my competition was. And he had no idea. And he's the one that's getting the feedback on the sheets of paper. And all he's doing is following Mike. A teammate was getting the American record for men. So he was just watching him. And he doesn't care about women. He doesn't even know what I'm on track for or anything. He did not pay attention.
Oh, I hate
to
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
So it was
That's
kind
the
of
reason why you're there.
it was kind of tough. Yeah. And then so when I asked like, hey, what position am I in? I was probably winning right then because there was another coach that was on the track and he looked really into it. And she's from the Czech Republic. And he was right there. And he was even like nodding each time I went around. But I was thinking, wow, her coach is really on the ball.
Yeah.
But I didn't know she was in the game. And she beat me by just like a fraction at the end. But I didn't know I was racing her. So I got second. Doesn't that stink? So not only did I not get 150 miles, but I also got second place at Worlds, where I could have won Worlds with an American record and but the main thing was like, for some reason, the most important thing to me at the time was 150. And it's really hard to run 150 miles in a day.
Right.
So it just doesn't come up every day of the week and you can't do it. And I was turning 50. So I'm going to start going downhill fast, which I did. But,
Connie, that's actually when I first started to know you. because I remember in 2012 and 13, I helped kind of crew for you at that North Coast 24. Remember that up in Edgewater?
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, was it after or before that?
I think it was like
It was no, you did it. I knew you
one
before
was
that.
before, and I think one was after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't know all that was going on. Oh my gosh.
Oh, a lot of stuff has happened.
Well, I didn't know that you see. This is the thing about you. Like, you didn't even
Mhm.
say, like, everybody that was sort of rolling with your crew at that time. Nobody knew that you were doing those things, that you lived through that craziness in Poland.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, but it's nothing you can't really explain it to people because nobody's done it before.
Yeah,
And the other thing is like I do have honestly, I'm not just saying it. Like my top priorities all the way through are like raising my kids.
yeah,
Mhm.
And so this is just it's a hobby.
right.
So if your
That's what I wanted
hobby
to say.
is if your hobby's just this, it's
If
kind of
your
like
hobby is on the verge of winning worlds and just fractions away from the American record at the time, but
Exactly.
you got the American record at one point, right?
that was the American record.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, the records are super funny. So it's like, so when I got the American record, then my friend Jen Shelton, she's in that
Mhm.
book you have on
Mhm.
the shelf. She's like, "Hey, what happened to you? Like, kick." You know, she's
That is
basically
so
saying
Jen
like,
right
"Kick."
there.
Like, what the, you know,
What the F,
why
man?
would, yeah,
Yeah.
you're second and you didn't even, you had
Yeah.
150 miles. You didn't even get 150. It's like,
Man, just dogging you.
and I said, you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe what happened. I said, I would rather have Gwen be my crew than these nitwits.
Oh, my
You know,
These
USA track and
nincompoops.
field people, they were useless. I said, Gwen's a better crew. So, and she knows
Yeah.
Gwen,
Yeah.
and we're all friends. And so she's like, oh, I'm writing the article. So she wrote an article in Ultra Running Mag. So when I do it, Ultra Running
Oh, I
Magazine,
remember that article, actually. I do know.
it's actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
So she's like, Connie would much rather have her developmentally delayed, you know, daughter Gwen crew her any time of the week before, you know. And then Mike Spindler, who's a race director for JFK, reads the article. And I'm just like saying exactly what I felt.
Yeah.
And it's okay to do that.
Yeah. And then
Well, it's
the
fact.
article was
Yeah,
so
it is.
Jen's a clown. So it's like the article is super funny. So it's just like this makes sense. Like that actually it turned out
Yeah.
perfect for me. So I finally get the American record. That's great. Tried for a decade to do it. Fine. Things fell into place. Got it. Check. And the fact that it is a stupid thing to do, to see who can run the farthest in a day. It's like, it doesn't,
I don't think that's stupid.
I don't think it is either.
kind of do.
Con-
it.
I mean, yes, it is stupid.
There are better
but-
things you can do with your time.
We'll push back on that one.
Yeah.
That is not a stupid thing
Yeah.
to do. That's one of the most mic drop things you can do of all time.
Oh, it's I think I
Look,
would rather.
It's
think
it
the
comes
better thing
easy
is
to
to, like-
you.
Okay, boys, what's your fastest mile, Leo?
Okay, well, that's different because, like,
Leo, what's your fastest 10K? Oh, I know, 29:01. What's your fastest? What's your fastest mile?
But
What's your fastest mile?
mine,
Yeah.
411
Okay.
in indoor, and then
406, I got him.
See,
No, but see,
I think that's
get what
cool.
you're saying.
I think
but
that's
like,
really cool. And people
okay,
like
Connie, this is where you
are
need to think of
impressed.
this. Think
Yeah.
of how many 406 to 411 milers there are on this planet, and think of how many people that have done what you've done. And that's different.
Right.
It's a matter of statistics. That is way more baller than
Yes,
things
it
you've
is.
done.
I disagree.
You're just too humble.
One time,
no.
well,
I
think of
just
it this way.
I think people are
Say it.
You
say
were-
it.
you
more
were-
intelligent than I am.
Same here.
So they have better things to do.
Yeah, same
than
here,
to see
though.
how far.
This is it. I think this is the answer. You have the mind of a miler, 5K, 10K person,
Mhm.
but you were gifted with an ultra marathon body.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Okay.
No, it's
Now,
not.
Now, so it's hard for you to genuinely understand and embrace your true efforts because
Oh,
the
there
person
you go. Yeah.
the person that can go 406 in the mile or sub 4 or whatever in the mile can't do what you're doing.
Right. It's not. No.
What you're
Oh,
doing
yeah.
is actually
You can't,
special. They can't. And they'll fall apart in that. And that's okay. These are just different bodies. There's just genetics, there's physics, there's a lot of factors involved, but your mind is different than your body. And that's what has allowed you to not fully embrace what you've actually done. So
Yeah.
that's why you're here today, because we want to
That
celebrate
is
like
funny.
all
So
of
what
the
it is it's not. I don't think it's so much the body thing. It's one of the races. Oh, okay. There's another 24. Like the 24, the hundreds.
the 24 seemed like your bread and butter.
I was starting to do the hundreds a lot of hundreds, and they're fine and they're good. And it's just like I could run a decent 100, but it's still the same thing. I should be run
It's
hundreds and
100.
14s, but I can't. You know, I'm in the 15s. I should be in the 14s. I respect people in the 14s. I'm not like whatever I do is whatever.
I'll do a little bit more.
But it's just the 24 hour.
The 24s were your bread
it's-
and butter.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. I just think it's very interesting. And once you start doing the math, you know who helped me out with the 24, like doing the math, and
Leo
figuring
Lightner.
things out. Well, Leo Lightner got me into like the hundreds and stuff. He's not. Leo's better. He got me into the good stuff, you know, like the trail hundreds and things. When I started dabbling with the 24s, I was working with. He coached at Malone. He's the coach. He's like,
Hazen?
no.
He coached up
No.
Woods.
Yeah. Love that guy. Love it. Okay. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you think.
Get out of here. Get out of
he
here.
is- okay,
Woods
here's
was on
the
my
thing.
podcast 2 weeks ago.
He was?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
Dude,
he coached him.
I'm like the biggest Woods advocate on the
Yeah.
planet.
Okay. People don't like him. I love him because he tells it like it is. So when I was working
Listen to
with him,
that podcast if you were
I think he's awesome. He's
training
like,
theory.
you want a
yes.
coach? That's a coach. So what I did was
Dude,
I
I'm
was
telling
talking.
you,
I
man,
was
people
just,
don't understand the Woods world.
we were
People need to lighten up. That's
we
what they
would
need
work
to do.
together like a couple days a week.
You're
for a
like
few
blowing my
hours.
mind with Leo Lightner and Woods. I didn't even know you worked with Woods.
He was at the store for a minute. I
Did you
took-
know he coached me through everything?
No, I just
Dude, cheers
what
to
I
all
did.
of this. We're
you
learning
know,
so much right
what
now.
I
We're
There we go. What I did was I could tell like after just a few short conversations, this guy knows
Yeah.
he knows everything there is to know about it. So I got
He's read every running book there is.
Yes, he
and
has.
He's not kidding.
and the other thing is he appreciates the 800, the mile,
All the way
the
up.
marathon. And then I start talking to him and he starts talking about Yannis Koros, who
Yeah.
friend, he's a good guy. He starts
So
talking
tell us about
Yannis
that
Koros.
guy.
He's
He's the guy.
he's the guy. Yannis Koros. Yeah, he
He was Greek, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has the world he's about my age. He has a world record for 24 hours. He got broken just recently, but he had it for a really long time. 180 something. And but Matt was talking about him. And I'm thinking, you actually know my sport. Like nobody knows my
Yeah.
sport. He was the first person I could really talk to about these things.
Mhm.
And then I start talking about 24 hours. And then he gives me like, we figured it out. Like I would run 18 minutes at a 9-minute mile pace and 2 minutes walk briskly at a 15-minute mile pace. And I practiced on a track. And
Oh my gosh.
and then the first thing we came up with was before that, it was like a 10K an hour is 145 miles, which is the American record. The American record was 145. And I said, okay, I can do a 10K an hour. But he's the one that told me that. It's just a 10K an hour. So I'm thinking I can do a 10K an hour all day
Man,
long.
dude.
That's how I.
And it was
So-
145.
Look, the theme
That's
of this podcast is
I
that
love
there's
this.
all these pioneers and geniuses that, because he's a genius. He's a literal genius. And there's
I
no
think he
question
is.
about it
But people don't care for him.
because his personality.
Right.
And
right.
it,
But his
and-
personality is my kind of personality.
Correct. He really does tell it how it is. And if you listen to that podcast, you'll tell that, like you'll sense that about him is that he has opinions and they're right. They're just right.
Yeah.
Like there's just physics involved, there's math involved, there's calculations involved, and they're just correct. And
Right.
his delivery bothers people, period.
But
And
I'm
that I
comfortable.
appreciated.
I'm comfortable with the delivery.
Yeah.
That's
He
why I
tells it
ran
like it
218.
Right.
So
That's why I ran 218 in the marathon. He's 100% the reason.
That's
and
amazing.
and I worked closely with him for a decade, and I can't even tell you how much tidbits of information I learned from that working closely with him.
no, he's a good one. Like that was a good and I would ask him for stuff like I was asking him what Malone was doing for workouts and different things. And I was coaching at the time and
Yeah.
the workouts
Were you at Hoban at the time?
probably Walsh High
Walsh?
School.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, was
The
it
girls.
that yours or Chelsea years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to coach some good kids, really good kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the way through. Yeah, it's pretty fun. But no, Matt Woods was pretty good. Like he got me to really think about the math and doing it and sitting down, and then I realized, okay, I also didn't need to sleep at the time because I was missing a lot of sleep trying to run and work and raise kids.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I was only getting like 4 hours of sleep at night. So I'm
Perfect.
thinking it was perfect. Yeah, it was good.
So going back, because I want to like, for me to like conceptualize all this. So what you're saying, and this is what I think a lot of people admire you about, because over the years, a lot of people admire you, even though that I don't really feel like you feel comfortable hearing stuff like that. But the thing that I love about Ultra so much is that there's no bullshit. You decide to do it. You decide to put yourself in that crazy situation, and you got to figure it out to get your way through it. And so it's so applicable to your life, where you're just like, yeah, I would do these runs on the weekend, then I'd be at the pool, or I'd be
Yes.
and like who gives a shit? And so for me, I've realized through my time doing my small amount of ultras is that like we choose to put ourselves into crappy situations. Like it's our choice. It's our choice to think like in a certain way. Like we can choose to be positive about this. We can choose to be happy about whatever's going on. And I've really learned that through Ultra, because there's been times where I mother F the trail, but then you're like, I can just walk off at any point. It doesn't matter. Do I want to do that? No, because I paid my money to do it and I'm going to do it. And like, this is just what Mother Nature gave me. Like, this is what I'm doing. And there's nothing, why should I complain about it?
Yeah.
And like, that is what you have like exemplified. And I think that's what people admire you so much about. And like, that's why I think it's so impressive of what you've done and what you're doing, is because like, you don't like, you want to be the best that you can be, but also it's just like, no one cares. Like no one cares, but people do care. It's just like
The
that's just the way it
psychology
is.
of it.
Yes, I love it. I love it, and it just plays into that. I love it
But
so
that's
much.
what Mark Godale I did this. So I was talking to Matt, and the record at the time that had been standing for, I don't know, like 15 or 20 years was 145 miles per day. And then Matt says, it's just a 10K an hour. This is what you need. This is the way you break it up. And this is what you do. And so I listened to him and think about it. And he said, you only need to take in, you only need to take in 200, 250 calories an hour. And I thought, okay, that was a huge help. You only need, like he made it very simple, and I got it. So then I thought, okay, I can run 145 miles a day. I'm getting the American record. So I go down to this race in Texas. This is like when I'm about 40, 41 or whatever. And I go down there, and it ended up being, they offered, I think if a woman ran over 140 miles and won it, if you won it with 140 miles or more, they would give you $4,000. If you got the American record, they would give you $10,000. So at the time, I'm like struggling for money. So I'm thinking, I can do this.
Yeah.
And then I was going to go run a race in Arizona, and Gwen was having a bad week, my daughter. And I said, why don't you should come with me, because I know I'm going to win $10,000 next month. So why don't you come with me? I signed up for the race. I put it all on a credit card. You can go visit your Uncle Jimbo,
Yeah.
He's in Arizona. We'll have fun. So Gwen was having a tough time in school, so I take her with me. We have a great weekend, and I'm just putting it on a credit card because I know I'm going to pay it off, because I know I'm going to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I just had confidence, just like I got confidence.
That's
It wasn't
amazing.
like
I love it.
I had confidence just doing the math. Like it was very simple, and I knew it was simple. I knew I could do it. So then I get to Texas, and it was really, really hot and humid. And another friend from the 100K team, he was there, and we're running these laps, and he's like, I don't know, this is not today. And he's getting ready to drop out. And I'm thinking, I can't drop out. I need the money. I got to pay bills.
Yeah.
I got no money. I'm counting on this. So I just kept going. And then it gets towards the end of the race. And so I started, you're throwing up and stuff because it's like really hot. So you can't take anything down.
Yeah.
So the stuff was happening. Then I start really falling apart. And then all of a sudden you just pull it together like, okay, 4 hours. You know what? Don't give me anything. I don't want any food. I don't want any drink. I'm going to hammer these 4 hours. I'm going to get it done and I can do this. So, you're just doing the math constantly in your head. And I'm going around. And then at the end of it, the last hour, they put you on this like 1/4 mile loop.
Yeah.
And the race director's standing there and he's like, wow, this is Connie Gardner. She's about to do it. She's going to get a new American record. Just 5 more laps. Just 4 more laps. Just 3 more laps. And we're doing that. Like he started the countdown like at 20 laps or something. I'm running these laps, and it's like 3 more laps to an American record, 2 more laps to an American record. So then I just kick it around. 1 more lap. I cross the line. And there's a chair there. And I think, okay, I did it. I got my American record, 10 grand. This is great. I sit down in the chair. And then there's another friend, Akos Konya was there. And I look over at Akos and right when the time went out, so I sit in the chair, I look over, I see Akos, the buzzer goes off and he falls to the ground. And I think, wow, he looks like shit, But then I saw pictures of myself after and I thought in my brain, I looked like Precious Stage, great. But when I see the pictures, I look like death. So it's really funny, like your brain, it carried me through. But anyway, so the race director said, this is the American record. She just did it, blah, blah, blah. Then it's like 4 hours after that, we go to awards. He says, hey, Connie, I hate to break it to you, but the American record is 145.28 and you ran 145.26. We remeasured. He didn't want to, I don't think he wanted to give me the 10 grand.
Oh, man.
Then he gives me one of those big fake checks, the big cardboard things for $4,000 to win it.
He didn't give you the 4K.
So then I got the big phony check. And then all of a sudden I'm waiting. And I never got the 4K.
I know that happened to me too.
Then I finally,
where they give you the big check and then they never send you the money.
Yeah,
they get the photo op, but then they never send you the money. That's happened to me at races.
Don't touch that big check. So
smash it over your knee.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Your head. I'll take the cash. Give me the cash. I need the cash.
I know. Do not want a picture.
Then I'm scrambling, trying to get the 4 grand. And later I was thinking, that's I probably had their record. I just wanted to get the American record because I knew I could. And then I probably didn't get it because he didn't want to pay the money.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have the money or he wanted to keep the money.
No.
So then I'm thinking, okay, I can do that. I can do it again. That was fine. If I did it in that temperature, I can do it again. But then I tried for like 10 years and I didn't get the 149, but whatever. For 10 years later.
Crazy.
But that was crazy. Wasn't that crazy?
That's.
Yeah. It was crazy. Really bad. But that's ultra running because it's just like.
Well, I know.
Well, is it like that now?
That's almost like where.
I think it's better now. I think they're actually getting paid and stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, they are getting paid. I mean, everybody's doing pretty well in the sport. And it's like, I mean, it could be better, but they're doing pretty well compared, right? It's just.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it would be easy.
Well,
it would have been easier to raise my kids if I would have had money coming in from the running. And then I wouldn't have had to have jobs.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy that's happening now in this, like in the running industry?
Yeah.
Is that now if you're not getting a lot of traction on your social media, sponsors are backing out.
I know.
But here's the thing. You started when you were 40.
It's stupid.
It's stupid.
Dare I say like best ever in ultras? Because you didn't even get started in your prime.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. But it's
like, say you were
she loves hearing all this stuff.
Say you were running like 24-hour races. Because remember that one race you ran in North Coast where you were trying for the record and then this younger one comes in, this younger girl comes, Jen was there and everything. It was like 13 or 14.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
And then she comes in and she sets the record there. Remember that? And she was like 23 years old.
No, she said it after. She was... Wait.
Or maybe she did set it later, but she
she ended up setting it later.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's the thing. So
you were like literally 20 years older than her or something like that.
Oh yeah, I know. That's kind of funny. So when I set the American record, I get this like article written by Jen, which is super funny. It's very comical, Yeah. It's an ultra running magazine, just like a rag. And then it's just like at the time it was like a pretty bits to it, but whatever. But it's like she writes this article and it's really, really funny. And it's just like, that makes sense for me and what I've been doing. This is good. But then like a minute later, she breaks my record. I have the record for like no time.
Yeah.
Then when she breaks the only time I've ever been mentioned in a real magazine is like
when somebody broke
my record.
Yeah.
Oh, a record by Connie Gardner. Yeah. So it's the only time I mentioned is when my record's broken, but I'm never really mentioned. And it was like Running Times, and I thought Running Times was legit. I liked that magazine.
Yeah, they were good. They're not around anymore, though.
No, I know, but it was a good magazine.
It was
better than
Running Mag still.
Yeah, it's still going.
Is it?
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Okay, tell me. Speaking of Ultra, all right, this is really shifting directions, but tell me about your time, and you can partake. Tell me about your time when you ran with Lance.
Wait, that was Shelton too. That was Jen's fault.
Okay, so Jen, if you read Born to Run, Jen was featured in the book, right? She was a featured,
She's the entertainment for the book. Scott is like, so Scott Jen's likes level-headed, normal runner, and Jen and
were you were mentioned in the book though, right? In Born to Run, but she was.
No, she was.
Were you part of that?
No, that's Billy and Jen. Billy and Jen were the ones who like.
Correct.
Okay. That's why people read the book, right? Maybe it was
the story was why they read the book.
Yeah. She told me not to read it, so I didn't read it.
I read it. It is a good book, actually. It's an important book in the industry of running. Born to Run. Everybody should go read it. 2007, 2008, it came out. It literally changed the running industry.
It actually did.
Chris is a little bit of a fraud.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He fractured his foot on a run I was literally at because he was running barefoot.
Yeah.
So it's a little overplayed, and it's trying to sell copies. I get it.
And
he's just trying to make money, and it sold copies. But it is a good book. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
But she's in it, and then time goes by. I start my clinic. Life's happening. 2015, 16, maybe. I hear, Connie's running in the Grand Canyon and Navajo villages with Lance now.
So
what happened there?
Okay,
Lance being Lance Armstrong.
Okay, that's what I wanted. Because I don't know this. I don't know any of this, so this is new to me.
So it's like
I'll tell you.
So most of my closest friends are ultra runners, probably, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hanging out with Godales and people like that, and it's hard. Like that population is a little different, and so you have your ups and downs,
yeah,
and then also I really can't say anything right now, but a lot of ultra runners partake, so
yeah, they like things.
They like things.
They like things.
Is it libations?
Libations. Yeah.
Other libations.
So at the time, like Mark Goodell is like my best friend, right? But the only thing he likes better than running, or me for sure, is a good IPA.
Yeah.
And this is a good IPA. So, and I kind of agree with them, like I would probably choose this over Mark anyway. But so we're going through some tough times. I text my friend Jen and I say, hey, I got to get out of here. Like Ohio, every now and then, it's just like, I really don't fit in.
Dude, it sucker punches you.
So the person that helps me fit in is Mark Odell. But then when Mark is like on a bender, I can't.
Yeah, you can't go.
I can't go there. I can't do that. So
Jen was based out in Ashland, Oregon.
She was in Ashland. So I texted.
Which was a weird running community, also started by Rick Sayre.
Oh my gosh. I know. She
from
lived
Northeast
with Rick
Ohio,
Sayre.
ran at Walsh University.
Yes. And she lived in his house.
Yes. So
Did
there's
you know
a
that?
weird Northeast Ohio
bizarre.
has a weird connection to pretty much anything awesome with running.
Yeah.
You just need to know that.
Rick Sayre is all that. It's all that. So
amazing.
He is all that.
Rest
This
in
is
peace,
our
Rick and Mark.
community. Yes. So I don't know what was happening, but it's just like I need a break. It was hard for me to. I was living in Medina at the time. It's hard to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's
I remember that house.
Yeah, it was fun. We had some fun.
We had a great times at Medina.
I don't think I ever got to go there.
Oh,
Hiding rats around the house.
He was.
What'd you say?
It was crazy.
You
It was
ran what?
crazy.
I had rats.
It was fun. It was just fun. It was just a fun. It was a fun place. It was fun. It was fun. So,
I never had the experience.
but every now and then you have to like the neighbors kind of get to you and people like the regular.
I
don't know. It's just-
regular
it's a
folk,
different-
The
the regular-
down to earth Medina folk.
Yes.
them suburban folk.
Who are nice as can be, but I can't quite get along with them all the time. So I just have to get away. And so I said, so I shoot Jen a text and say, hey, I got to get out of here. And she's like, she said something about Mark. And then I said, oh, Mark who, and text her back. So then we start texting. We're trying to, and she said, how about we do the canyon? And I said, I've been there, done that. I'm done. We've already done rim to rim enough times. And then she's like, how about, I said, let's go. I said, let's not do that. Let's do that waterfall loop, where whatever it is. She's like, have us do? I say, yeah. So we're just texting back and forth.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like we're trying to come up with a date. And she comes up. The only date that we could both get together was, I think it was 2 weeks before, but it might have been 1 week before Worlds.
Yeah.
So, but I thought, okay, it doesn't matter, it'll be good for me for Worlds because
It'd be a nice training run.
yeah, well, just like it's like a nice long run, takes the edge off. Then I can go to Worlds and I can compete and it's fine. I've done this before. So it's actually like, it looks bad for the US team. Like they probably would frown upon it, which I think they did. But so, I said, yeah, that'll work. And then like, just like the week before we go, she's like, hey, Lance wants to join us. And she was living in Texas at the time. She had just moved to Texas. She's trying to write a book and her ghostwriter lives in Texas.
This is amazing.
So then she said, I said, are you on crack now? And she's like, no, just, I've been running with him. He's wanted to do this. He'll join us. I say, okay, that's good. So then I'm saying we got to keep it on the down low. Like no one's going to know about this. So the problem with Lance is like, it's not going to be on the down low. She's like, oh no, he agrees. It's on the down low. No one's going to know about this. Cause USA Track and Field kind of covers your expenses and stuff like that to go over there for the Worlds. And you're supposed to take that seriously, but I'm old, so it doesn't matter. So it's like, we get there and she's like, hey, I had my brother Jim pick us all up at the airport.
Yeah.
And he lives out there and he picks up Lance and Jen and myself. And we go to the first thing Lance says is like, hey, I got to go check out this pool. There's a new pool that opened in Scottsdale and he was going to like train there. He's a real good swimmer.
Yeah.
So we go swimming and then we headed out to the canyon. Jim drives us to the canyon. My brother Jim's kind of a character. So it's pretty good. Like to have, he's he like hikes sometimes, but he's in the hospital every other week. He's got like a lot of stuff going on. And he's also like a stereotypical engineer, if you know what I mean. So people can say,
sometimes.
So all the smarts in the family might've gone to him, but maybe too much went to him. So he overthinks things. So he just like can't get out of his own way. You know what I mean? But he's a great guy. So he's the guy that's picking us up and he's like a total, but he and Lance got along great. And we went to the canyon and it was wonderful. And Jen, when she gets there, she's like, hey, my car broke down. I had to fly in. I had to pay for the flight. So I'm writing about this in Trail Runner magazine.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Lance shows up with a beard. He shows up with a beard.
An
like,
actual article comes out in Trail Runner magazine about this.
Yeah. So I run Worlds and then with the next month, Trail Runner
So
magazine.
So what was the article
like,
then about? Just that
It just was like they basically
we did
ran.
Havasu Falls.
They ran the.
We did the Havasu Trail. It was wonderful. It was
Like
beautiful.
Lance basically was talking about how like the ultra community, ultra marathoning, was the only accepting community of him after the
Everything came
fallout
out,
of
yeah.
Tour de France.
Yeah.
And
Oh, he
That's
did?
yes,
That's
and so
amazing.
he felt welcomed by you guys, you and your brother.
Congratulations.
Huh.
And you guys were accepting of him and you didn't judge him. And, he's a hell of an athlete.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a professional athlete.
Everybody that was in the tour those years was cheating.
Right.
And
Yeah.
like,
He just
period.
did it the most.
He just
but-
did it the most.
No,
But
he didn't.
it-
Well, They all
or he
do.
did
They
it
all
the
do.
same, whatever. Like they all were cheating, but like he literally
Right. Either way,
just
it
felt
doesn't
like,
matter.
I mean, like he's still a human being,
Yes.
and like society just cut him out. And you guys, this whole experience with you guys in the Grand Canyon was meaningful to him.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Like I say, okay.
I'm a Lance
So
fan. I'm a Lance fan. I'm gonna
So
say
my
right
brother's a bit
There we
quirky.
go.
He's quirky. Lance and my brother go along
He
great.
likes
Anyone
him.
that gets along with my brother Jim and just says, "Hey, bro," and gets along with him, I think that's a good person.
Yeah.
The other thing is like he talked about his mother and his kids all the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
I love
anyone
hearing that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
same.
so then I think, all right, you're a good guy. I asked him why he never had, like there was a Greg LeMond bike. I said, hey, there was a Greg LeMond bike when I was growing. Like, there was never a Lance Armstrong bike, was there? He said, I hate bikes.
He said that?
Yeah.
See?
He said,
See, dude,
I hate it.
look, only the universe can
Wait,
confirm
yeah.
that this happened. Like,
Yeah.
because this is in the.
because I hate them because I
the-
hate bikes. And it's just like, it was super funny.
Oh my God. It
Yeah.
happened in the wilderness of the
Yeah,
Grand
in the
Canyon. these
Grand
applications.
It was pretty
man.
good. It was like we had a great time. It was really fun. There was stuff. My brother dropped us off, and you're supposed to like get some kind of permit or something with
Oh man.
I almost called him with the Native Americans, with whatever.
Cancel.
But
Yeah.
I'm from Cleveland, so I almost called them Indians. That's bad. But
Yeah.
the Native Americans,
Right.
correct? Or whoever.
Because you guys went into their camp.
Correct. So you're supposed to
Yeah.
get like something. But so,
Did they welcome you?
well, I had my brother Jim drop us off early so they wouldn't know we were there. So we were dropped off real
Yeah.
early. He drops us off in places and then picks us up later. He's really good
This
about
guy is
that.
awesome.
He's awesome. So he drops us off real early.
Gotta get him on the
and then
podcast.
we go, oh, you should. He's probably got some really good stories because he's been through a lot of adventures.
Awesome.
I can always count on him to be there to pick me up after. But so we run down and then we get past their place. But when we're running down in there, there was like at one point there was like a horse that was like dead and left to die.
Oh, geez.
And then those guys just ran right past it. And I'm thinking, I don't like horses. They're really big and scary. But this thing is on its deathbed. And I'm like thinking, it's like laying on the ground dying. And they left it.
Man.
You know?
Yeah, I guess
So
that's
whoever.
the
So
thing to do.
because they pack it with stuff and they have them go in and out of the canyon all the time.
Yeah.
And but I don't know. So I felt pretty badly for it. And sometimes the Native Americans might not in there. The mules and stuff in the canyon, I don't think we're always treated nicely. They might not be.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. But
We don't know.
anyway, this one wasn't. So I thought, well, because at first I was thinking, well, we'll pay on our way out. But then after I saw the horse that was left and abandoned there to die on its own, and it's
Said,
an animal.
I'm not paying that.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You stuck it to
So-
him. You stuck it to him.
Yeah,
dude.
so on our way out, we just ran really fast and they, trying to come after us. But we got out of the canyon.
How far was that run with Lance? Like, what was that?
It was
Ah,
days.
it's
They
like-
were out there for days.
No, it's only like 50 miles.
Oh,
It was just like a 50 miles down and back to the river. It's like nothing. It's like a Havasu trail, but it was spectacular. It was really beautiful, and we had a nice long weekend.
What's your,
spent days with him.
What's your advice for rim to rim to rim?
Yeah, we're gonna try to do it in like 2
Yeah,
months.
we're gonna do it in October 3rd.
Oh, okay.
Kind of untrained.
Yeah,
I mean,
fine.
Yeah.
Doesn't-
Okay.
You don't have to train.
Okay.
It's
That's all right. So repeat what you said. Repeat what you said.
You don't have to train.
So we're gonna run rim to rim to rim, which is roughly 50-ish miles, 22,000 feet of elevation gain. Just say what you said.
the elevation gain thing. I've never paid attention to.
Okay, fine. But what did
Like
you
I don't
say?
need that means nothing. 22.
You don't need to train,
No, you're fine.
right? Because where is it at? Boom.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
what
up
you need
and
is
we're
your
pointing to the head.
You
Anybody
simply-
listening?
You just need a plan. You need a plan. So if you go in knowing you're untrained, then you're fine. If
What if
you're
I
untrained-
texted out to the guys?
You're going in on the train.
Yeah, because
You-
I just don't
Okay,
have time
so-
to train because of my Achilles, right?
Okay, so if you haven't trained, understand that you're untrained.
Right.
So you could walk rim to rim to rim and make it in a day.
Yep.
Walking the whole thing.
Which doesn't sound fun.
No. So it's not. That would not be fun. So get to the
I'll
south
run it.
rim. Get to the south rim. Just let your legs go easy down to the bottom. When you get to the bottom, you should pack like real food, like a sub sandwich or something. Sit and have
a meal.
Somewhere like in the bottom. Eat some real food. The base.
I'll do that. I'm gonna
eat some real food.
I'm gonna take some Mr. Hero.
Take a like you can get like a sub, get a real sandwich, eat a big sub, and then you're just jogging real easy. You can't go fast because you just ate a big sub. And then hike up to the North Rim, right?
Yeah.
And the North Rim hike, it's
how many times have you done it?
I don't know. I don't know, probably just like 3 or 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
But like the North Rim is there's altitude and stuff there, and we're not used to altitude, so your heart rate is going to go up.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you're going to die.
No, I've been at altitude.
Don't get scared.
Yeah, it's good.
Don't get scared. Just like
roll.
keep moving
We're
forward.
gonna have to help Smokey out.
Yeah,
on
we
that
are
one.
gonna have to help Smokey. See, I'm going to Switzerland next Friday, so we'll be at altitude for a lot of it. So that'll be my indication.
Well, you can't like.
But
so
it's not gonna. But
what it does is being
like,
in Switzerland. What it does is it teaches you what your body. You can learn what your body does.
Exactly.
At altitude.
Exactly.
So then you won't make mistakes.
Right. Because I want to do. It's mainly like relaxation and like sightseeing, hiking, being in the mountains. But I told my wife that I want to do at least like one long run, like at least like 10 miles up there before we like go do whatever we want to do.
Oh, you definitely have to.
I know.
Where in Switzerland?
So we're flying into Zurich, and then we go to Grindelwald, which is like where the Eiger Trail race is.
I don't know that one.
It's like part of like UTMB.
Okay.
So we'll be there for a little bit, and then we go to Breens. From Breens, we go to Lauterbrunnen, and then to Gimmelwald, so up a little bit higher, and then to Zermatt, then to Lucerne.
Lucerne.
Yeah.
Like Lucerne. That's nice.
Yeah, I'm really excited about
beautiful.
it. I'm really excited about it. She's done all the planning. Like she goes, she'll be like, you want to go here? This like this looks awesome, and like they have like a great like view of the mountain. I'm like, yeah, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, just go run in the mountains, and then you can see how your body responds.
Well, in Gimmelwald will be that perfect opportunity because from what we read, from where our hostel is, where we're staying, there's like running trails, like all out like by that hostel. So
that's good. I'm
really excited.
Yeah. So once you do that, then you can see. So if you get a hand to you one day and you get sick, it's like, okay, so I might get altitude sickness.
Yeah.
I don't think in the can. It's not high enough to really get that, but it is not high enough to make your heart rate go up where
it's a different feeling.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
especially in the middle of the trek.
Yeah. Yeah, because all of a sudden you're thinking, I have to continue to climb up, then turn around and go back.
Yeah.
Take a picture of yourself at the North Rim though. Otherwise you didn't do it.
Oh, that's good to know. We didn't know that.
Yeah.
We didn't know. Well, we're taking a GoPro thing.
Okay.
We still need a picture though.
Yeah, we'll need a picture.
Yeah. So one of the other funny Connie stories that I have. So this is a story that you probably don't even remember.
I might need some more of that.
Yeah. So one time I was running, just simple running. We'll cover this, and then we'll cover the book, and then we'll go from there. I was just like, after work, I don't even know, circa 2015, something like that. And if you want to dabble. So then so I was just out for an easy 3 miler or something like that after work. So I go to Memorial Parkway. You probably have no idea this was a thing. And then I see you, and you're running with a local runner, a local ultramarathoner who ended up pretty good. And it was, you guys were training. And then I was like, oh, hey, Connie, how you guys doing? And we're talking on the trail, and it's on the towpath. It's right at Memorial. Do you remember this?
Mm-mm.
Okay. And I was like talking with you, and I'm like, what'd you guys do? And then you were like, oh, we ran up to Wink and Lizard, and then we ran back, and we're training for, her first 100. And then I was like, are you drunk? And you were like, yeah. And then I was like, really? And you go, yeah, how else are you supposed to reproduce the delirium that you get in the middle of an ultra? So literally what happened was they ran.
I used to train that way for Burning River.
Yes. So, okay. So that's why I'm going to bring this up. So Because some people,
just once a week,
some people,
not all the time.
this is the thing. Some people don't believe this story. So you ran up to Peninsula, drank, and then ran back.
Mhm.
And then, right. Okay. So walk us through the logic there.
I love this.
Oh, I see. So like
I love this.
Burning River, like when I was training for that and serious about it, like when it was still a point-to-point course and everything, when it was a point-to-point course, the mile 80, which Leo told me is a special time, is right around the covered bridge. You know? So, and then right when you get to the cover, you come into the covered bridge and then you do that loop, the Perkins loop, which was really,
Yeah.
at the time, it was like not very groomed trails, real muddy, real crazy. And then you'd head in. But that's like, I was always trying to get through there, out of there, daylight, through O'Neill Woods, daylight. But I would, for training, a lot of times I would do like Saturday morning, we'd run a couple hours with Mark Riddell and that group. And then in the evening, I'd go run like 5 miles, whatever, at a regular pace roads. Sunday morning, I'd get up and run like a road, like as you're training for a marathon, like a road 20. And with people that are all better than me, all much faster than me, a bunch of guys, like that Jim Chaney group, and Agbo. So I'd be running with those guys at 20 in the morning. And then I would meet friends. I had good friends from Medina that we would meet at that covered bridge.
Yeah.
And so you'd come into the aid station, you do this 5 mile real technical loop.
Yeah.
Then you go out. So I'd meet them there. And so I would run my 20. I would work at the shop all day. After work, close the shop at 5, zip up there. They'd be there. We would all drink a beer and we'd run the 5 mile loop.
Yep.
And then we would drink another beer and then we would run the 5 mile loop. And then sometimes we would drink another beer, run the 5 mile loop. And then we go to Winking Lizard, which is bar, to sober up. But the thing is, like, each loop, I don't know what my pace was, but honestly, like if you go there and you drink a good beer, like not a good beer,
like a thirsty dog.
Yeah, you drink a like wild high, but it's like each loop you're just running faster and faster. By the third loop, we're like racing, we're just hammering, and it's getting dark, and you're just flying down the trail, and you don't care if you fall, you don't care about anything, and it's just a party. And then it's just like, okay, let's all go to the Lizard.
This makes me, this pumps me up.
So we would go over to the Winking Lizard, and we're just like getting burgers and laughing. And then like one of my friends, Janine, she was crazy at the time. She went to, her.
Yep.
You might have crossed paths. You would remember her. She's nuts. So, but she was, but her husband would bring like the kids over. So we would all go to the Winking Lizard after. So Gwen would come, we'd go to the Winking Lizard, and you're just going to the bar basically to sober up and regroup. But the third loop, it's like, it was just so much fun. Cause like I say, I'm not afraid of falling, and I just want to beat everybody.
Yeah.
And we're all giving each other a hard time, like saying stuff,
Yep.
like talking trash, like
talking shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. I'm trying not to swear too much. Talking shit. Yes. So
that word.
So the third loop would be super fun. But then I would go run Burning River 100. And so I'm focused, totally serious doing this. I get to the covered bridge, and it was always like, instead of being like, oh my gosh, I can't make this loop, it was like, oh, this is where we party.
Yeah.
This is where we have fun. This is like,
I love
this is like it's like your home course, but it's like all the memories are just really funny, really stupid, because, and then I'd be running it, and you just kind of thinking like, man, after that third beer, I felt like I was running 6-minute miles, but I was probably running 12-minute miles, like I was running, pumping my arms like mad and getting nowhere, and it's just like, it's just funny. It's just super funny. And then it would always give like, it would make that part of the course where people are questioning whether or not they're going to finish. It's like a fresh start for me.
Yeah.
So it was super fun.
And that sort of spilled into a little bit of training.
Yeah. So then so that's what so then I would kind of train that like once a week sometimes it's fun to like run down to a place and have a beer and then run back.
I think it's cool. It lightens the load.
It's free miles. It's just like you get an extra 10 or 20 miles in and it doesn't feel like you're working.
Yeah. And it's so like nonchalant and just chill. In the same way, it's like running. I literally thought of this. It's like running an ultramarathon, but like to the pace of a Jimmy Buffett concert kind of thing. Like that's how I think of it.
Margaritaville.
Did you ever go to a Jimmy Buffett concert?
I did actually.
Have you really?
I did in the 80s.
Oh, I never.
Yeah, I saw him kind of later in his career.
That's good.
What's your
What's my first concert?
First concert.
Oh man, this is so.
Oh, that's it. Hey, who do you think wins?
What do you mean?
The best first concert.
Oh, me for sure.
I've got you beat.
Really?
Trumped. Yes.
I actually have a pretty good one.
Can I go? Should I go first?
Yes.
Okay, you go first.
So 8th grade. This is my first concert.
Your parents took you?
No. So this girl that I went to that I went through school with, her dad was the manager for a Cadillac company or like a car dealership.
Yeah.
So he sold LeBron his first Cadillac, his first Escalade.
This is awesome.
So as a thank you, he said, "Hey, you can use my Loge, just not for games. You can use it for anything else as like a thank you." So my friend was really big into Kenny Chesney. So we got
we won. We were winning.
No. So we got picked up in a limo.
Well, I don't have that.
Loge with like that. This is like the height of his like Sprite era.
Dude, that is quite baller for 8th grade.
And so we got picked up in a limo, which I'll be honest with you, I dated her for a little bit and then we broke up. But like she already promised me that I would go, but we already broken up. So
that's very
smart
good.
move on your part.
But like we got to like hang out, like pizza, Sprite, whatever, Kenny Chesney, and guess
Mountain Dew.
Yeah, dude, Mountain Dew. But guess who opened up for him?
Oh,
guess. Just one guess.
No, I don't know.
Rascal Flatts.
Oh, that's a pretty good opener.
That's a pretty good because they're big now. They're big time.
Yeah,
they did. That's pretty good. What about you, Leo?
Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, 8th grade.
8th grade is a big year for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Ramones.
Oh my God.
The Ramones.
Look, okay, so that had to
Ramones at the Agora.
Nice.
I wasn't in 8th grade. I didn't go to concerts in I was 17, 18 years old.
What high school did you go to?
Olentangy.
Ooh,
it was
different.
Columbus.
Which
no,
one?
There was no such thing.
It was just the one.
It was a little tiny farm
There's
school.
going to be 5 soon.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Wait, they're making another school?
I had no idea you were part of North Columbus.
For a bit.
Dang.
A few years.
You were everywhere.
Yeah, really.
In my number 2, though, at least. Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
Actually, we've got you beat, Zach.
But LeBron
It's pretty good.
James.
I know it's a good story.
Dude,
but we're just
Ramones
looking-
is so kick-ass.
Yeah,
I love the
that's
Ramones.
wonderful.
So I'm glad I didn't
That's
go.
wonderful.
You know
Dude,
how
if you want to put on if you just want like get me going, just
Yeah.
put on the Ramones.
Done. Where was
Don't do it.
Crosby, Stills, Nash at? Where did you
That's
go for
pretty
that?
impressive.
They were at
Yeah,
Gundar,
that's
the
amazing.
old school Gundar Arena.
Oh
That's great.
man, yeah, that's
Yeah,
great.
and Young was there.
Oh,
Who
So
took
it
you?
wasn't
Who
just
took you?
my dad.
That's
We went to
pretty
the
good.
Rock Hall and then we went to that show.
Oh, that's
Hey,
pretty good.
Yeah, it was great.
So I need a little bit of advice here. So my dad was a big Eagles fan, like the Eagles fan. So like growing up, like when we would go on like the boat that we had and everything, we would listen to Hell Freezes Over, the 94.
Yeah.
And they're playing at the Sphere.
You should 1000% go. You have to see Don Henley.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable.
Have you seen him?
Yeah, I saw him. Yeah, at some point. I can't remember when, but yeah, he's unbelievable.
Just go there, just leave Friday night, go to Saturday.
Is Joe Walsh?
When are you going?
Is Joe Walsh still
Joel?
alive?
No,
that was the first album I ever got was
Joe
Walsh.
Walsh passed.
Oh,
Okay, so you don't get Glenn Fry or Joe Walsh.
No, because
But-
Glenn Fry got.
Hey,
Yep.
did you guys buy albums?
Yeah.
We buy him now.
Well, yes.
No, like back.
No,
when-
I did
before.
actually. And
what
then
was your first album? What was your first record or whatever CD you ever bought?
like
Mine was Joe Walsh.
Was it really?
which
I
one?
bought it at it's when the baby's underwater.
Oh, okay, that one. He has the one where he's on the plane that I
No,
have that one.
I got it at the Jersey Shore. I won it in a game.
See,
What
I'm
about you? What's your first album?
The first one I actually probably purchased on my own dime. Probably some Nirvana album. I was obsessed with Nirvana during the grunge era.
I'm still
but
obsessed
I did
with Nirvana. Like, I think when I was having children, like, saved my life.
really.
Yeah, because I like the whole grunge thing. Is like,
They were
thank
so
God, I can just wear. I can
their
keep on, I can
B-side stuff was so
continue
good.
to wear Chucks. Just wear my regular clothes.
okay.
And
Yeah,
I
you
don't
can do all
have
that,
to. Yeah, and I looked hip suddenly instead of just sloppy. Yeah, Nirvana was great. Nirvana's great. Yeah.
And I love that people are wearing Nirvana shirts, but I'm like, please just listen to at least one of their songs.
I don't think they know what Nirvana
Understand
is.
it. Like understand where they're
but
coming from.
But even my stepkids who could care less about like, you know, anything other than rap, they listen to it and they're like, this is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You can't help but get into it with like a Ramones or a Nirvana. Like there's just something to it.
Right.
So, all right, let's really pivot.
Okay.
Tell me about your book. You got a book coming out.
There's a book. Yeah. Working on a book for 8 or 10 years or something. And then when things are discussed and you figure things out, it's like, wow, there are a lot of things that I did when I ran races. I would figure, like, during the week, think, oh, I kind of want to get at, I kind of need 100. So then I think, oh, I'll see if I can get in Vermont 100. So I just emailed the race director, hey, do you have any openings? Can I get in? He's like, oh yeah, we'd love to have you. So it's like on a Wednesday. And then especially when I was going through a divorce, it's like any time I didn't have the kids, I had to go race.
Mm-hmm.
So because I didn't want to be home alone. So I would just go run 100. So like Vermont was like a last minute kind of thing. And then you just get there and it's like, wow, you know, like I don't know if I'm quite ready for this. I could drive there. I thought it was like a 8-hour drive, but it was a lot longer than that.
Yeah, Vermont is out there, dude.
It's really far.
It was like an 8 hours.
So I get my neighbor, like Bob Gorney, like, hey, Bob.
Oh my God, Bob.
Bob's ridiculousness. So I'm like, call Bob. Hey, Bob, you have no life. You know, your wife has left you for someone else. Your wife left you. You're like, you know, your kids.
Let's do it.
You're like, you got nothing going on. I know for a fact you got nothing going on. You got no life. Will you come to Vermont with me? And I said, I think I can get you in. He's like, oh, okay. So we'll go run the 100 together.
God, that's awesome.
But I couldn't really get him in because he didn't really have a resume. But so once he gets out there, then I say, hey, by the way, you know, can't get you in. So would you mind crewing and pacing me?
That's amazing.
He was really like pissed off. But once we get there, it's like we get there like 10,
you just left it off. I love that.
Yeah, it's like 10, 11 at night. And it's like, oh my gosh, you camp at the start. I had a tent in my car, or maybe he had a tent. I don't know. I didn't even know how to set up the tent. I think I borrowed a tent from my sister. The starting line is in like a horse farm or whatever.
Yeah.
So we get there and we're trying to set up the tent. And I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, I don't even know what I have packed. And I'm not ready for this at all. Cause I like, we just pulled it off like 2 days before the race. And then it's like, so he's trying to set up the tent. He's fumbling. Somebody says, hey buddy, you need some help? And I'm just sitting there like, oh my gosh, this race starts at like 4 a.m. or something. And it's almost midnight. And this woman walks by and she's like, hey, do you need anything? I'm like, man, I could use a gin and tonic. So she leaves and she comes back with like a bucket, like a big cup of gin and tonic. It's phenomenal. I said, where did you just get this from? She's like, oh, we're the whatever trail runners from, they were from Massachusetts or
from
I don't know if they're half trails. I don't know where they're from. Yeah, I don't know, but they're
from UMass.
Awesome people. Bob would remember because so then she's like, we got a fire over there. So they help us set up our tent and then we go over and sit by the fire. And then these people are all hanging out. And I think they were from Massachusetts. And we're like, just like, I'm sipping on the gin and we're smoking cigars. And it's just like, okay.
The night before the race?
Yeah. And then I ran Vermont the next day. We started off and I'm running, everything's going was going well. I just figured I could run it, and I think the course record was like around 18 at the time. So I thought, well, I should be able to run 17 and a half. But somebody was faster. But
Because they weren't smoking cigars.
my plan was, well, I had a better experience.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
exactly
okay.
right.
It's just- but it's just like you get in at the end of the time, you go, you have some fun, you meet a bunch of new people. We had a great time. Bob, like, he was like, all of a sudden I get like, I had run Western States that year, like a couple weeks before. So it's like, all of a sudden I'm running, I'm thinking, holy shit, this is like Western States of the East Coast. This crowd is crazy. So I'm in like 10th, 15th place for women at like mile 10, 20. And I'm thinking, where are these people coming from? This is I think I'm running at a decent pace. What's going on? So then I get to, Bob's like crewing me, and he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're like in last place. Like you suck. You made me drive all the way out here. I can't do this. You better start running faster because you're wasting my time. So I'm trying to run and everything like that. And then he starts pacing me, but we pick off people.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm on pace for like 17 and a half. There's nothing else I can do.
But everybody goes out fast.
Yeah,
they do.
they all
Everybody
fell
goes out
back. I ended up, my friend Jenny got second. This girl from Vermont got first, and she got I think she was like 17, 15 or 20. And then Jenny was like a minute ahead of me. And then I was like 17, 35 or something like that.
Yeah.
So it was fine. It was a good race. But then afterward, there was so much stuff. Like, I was tired and he was tired. So when he was pacing me, my goal that race was to run 100 without a headlamp. So I thought, if it's a 4:30 a.m. start.
What a random goal.
Okay, so it's a 4:30 a.m. start. I think I could probably finish before, 9 or 10, and because I can finish in like 17 whatever hours. I should be able to finish 17 based on my Western States that year. And it's like all of a sudden he's pacing me. We're like 3 miles to the finish. And we're in the woods and zigzagging. In the woods, when the sun goes down, it gets black.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden it gets dark. And he pops on his headlamp. But your pacer is not allowed to. I'm not allowed to use his light.
Yeah.
So if he has a light, I have to have my light on. So I said, turn it off. And he turns it off real fast. I yell at him. And then he's like, I can't see. And you hear him tripping all over the place.
Yeah.
And then he turns it back on. I said, fucking turn the fucking thing on. And then he's like, and then we start really swearing at each other. And then, but I've been swearing at him for the last like 40 miles. So he's like, so then we're really like arguing, fighting. And he would turn his light on and I'd say, turn it off. Because I'm thinking, I'm like 2 miles left and I want to finish and be able to say, yeah, I ran the 100. I didn't need a light.
Oh my God.
It was really stupid. But eventually we had to turn it on with like 2 miles to go. And it was like, then we have to drive all the way back to Ohio together after we've just been like,
you guys are still on good terms, right?
Oh, really good terms. I took him to Northampton, Mass after where, that was like the area where we drove through Northampton where Smith College is, and it's a women's college. And I said, I said, okay, look, I'm really sorry. I'll take you out to breakfast. We can sit on the sidewalk. We can have a cup of coffee. And you can see the most attractive lesbians in the country. I don't know if guys like that. So
wow.
It's like the Pioneer Valley in Massachusetts is like the big. So regardless. So anyway, he sat, drank coffee. He was just happy. That's all it takes because his brain is the size of a pea. That's all it takes to make him
Good
happy.
old Bob.
And then we're back to being best friends again after that. And then
this
we
is
drove back to
the great
Midwest.
Wild West of the ultra world.
Oh, this is amazing.
And this is all in the book, right?
But anyway, I don't.
So we're going back to the book. So you have a book coming out.
Okay, all right. The book. So it's like the title. So everything that I've done. So you think, some people would think, Vermont 100. If you run it in like 17 and a half, whatever, it's like a big deal. But I think it's kind of stupid. It is like I think the general population would see it that way. And then, like anything I've ever done, what else have I done? A 6-day race. Okay, I did a 6-day race because
Where was that?
you didn't know?
Where
This
was
was
it?
like 5 years ago. This is recent.
No way.
Was that in New York?
6 days in the Dome. They used to do it in New York in like the 1800s.
In the Dome?
In the 1800s, that's how our sport started, Zach.
In the 1800s?
Yeah, they would bet on people running for 6 days. You don't run on Sunday, the Sabbath.
Well, obviously.
Okay,
Yeah.
wait.
So that's when
what
our race
dome?
started. So, it's like around an ice rink
Where?
in Minnesota. I think.
What?
I was at.
This was 5 years ago? You
Wait a
did this
minute.
5
Maybe
years
maybe
ago?
it's Milwaukee.
That's
That's Wisconsin.
That's Wisconsin. It's in what?
Yeah, that's a giant.
Wow.
Okay. I think it was in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And then okay, so what happened? I knew I'd be very good at a 6-day race, right?
Yeah.
But I
This
didn't
was
want to be,
5 years
but I
ago.
don't
Wow.
want to be good at a 6-day race. Right?
I know you want to be good at a mile.
I want to be, thank you.
Mhm.
I want to run your miles.
Point
I wanna-
proven.
yes.
Point
Okay.
proven.
I want to be good at a mile. I want to be good at a 5K. I want to be good at a 10K. Even a marathon. I would take a marathon.
Over a 6-day race.
Correct. Because you should see the 6-day race. The 6-day, you should meet the people in the 6-day race. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, like a bit ago. Yeah. It's what did I do? Mike Mountain, I think he puts it on.
Okay.
He puts on some good races. And it's 6 days in the Dome.
Man.
It's Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So you run around this ice rink indoors for 6 days. Who can run the farthest? And people come from all over the world. And I think they pay a lot of money to do it.
Zach, this is ridiculous.
So
This is in the book.
So the book is titled "My Kind of Stupid" because
There we
it's
go.
unbelievable. So it's my world that I shouldn't be sharing with others,
No, but you should.
but now I can because I really don't care anymore.
Exactly.
Yes.
And you
Yeah,
never
I
really
did.
cared.
I
Please
did.
do.
Well, I think I cared because that's why I didn't want anyone to know what I was doing.
But you weren't ever like afraid to talk about it.
Yeah, I didn't want people to really.
No.
If you read the articles, they're pretty bad.
About you?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, when they would interview me,
Really?
yeah, they would say, "Wow, you."
Well,
So I get interviewed by somebody and they say, "You don't look like you."
Be like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's-
well, you know what?
It's just like I think they
Yeah.
think like a marathoner is going to weigh like 100
Right, right, right.
pounds. So an ultramarathon is going to weigh like 80 pounds. And
No,
I come in
it's the exact
weighing
opposite.
140.
right.
So I'm like saying they would say, "Wow,
That's their own damn
this
fault.
is an article. Wow, what do you weigh?" Well, like 140, 145.
Yeah.
And then like, holy cow. So like in like the Plain Dealer, it was like Connie
weird.
Gardner at 40 whatever years old,
Yeah.
weighing 145 pounds.
Do you like the
just did this?
backyard concept?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a classic. That's been going on forever as well. Like 1800s, like who can run a mile? It would be like a mile on the hour every
Do you know
hour.
Harvey?
Yeah. He was on the 124-hour team with me a number of times.
Gotta get him on the podcast.
Hey, he was, you can get him on the podcast. Do you want him on the podcast?
Can you
Let's
talk
do
to
it.
him?
He was in Poland with me. By like a mile.
Really?
But I said to him after, I said, he's a really nice guy. So I said, if we would have known what our miles were, I think you would have got me. And he said, no, you had a great day.
That's awesome.
He's really nice. He's a very good guy. He should come on here.
I agree.
He would.
Yeah.
He would do it. Harvey's great.
I know. And this, I feel like, was a great intro into Connie Gardner. into the world of the amazing ultra races and the performances, and
Amazing.
we're blessed to be able to get a book here soon.
I can't wait to hear.
Yeah. So the book is just like all the things that I've done. Like I say, like when I did Vermont, it was just a wild weekend. When I got back home, I forgot everything about it. So a lot of the awards, shirts, anything I had through the years are just gone. I don't pay attention. I don't hang on to most medals. I don't.
Yeah, and I think that's awesome.
I don't.
Yeah.
That's
It's
not what
about
I
the
was in it for.
memories. Yeah,
I have
About the
some. I have,
experience.
so when I start to collect things to try to think about a book and think about what I've done, it's like it's another person. These are all things that I was squeezing in on the weekends, and somehow on the weekends I got in almost a couple hundred ultramarathons, and I won almost 100 of them. And I don't know how
My
I did that.
goodness.
You
It's
know what I
awesome.
mean? Like
It's
I don't.
awesome.
But it seems like it was someone else.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
I do know what you
But
mean.
I did enjoy those getaways with that person, whoever it was. I feel like I'm like this brain up here, and the body's running down there.
Yeah,
And it's like, wow, that's amazing. It's good, so good to get away.
Yeah.
And then I'd get back and face reality with. It's really hard to parent. It's really difficult
Right.
to parent kids that are too smart or not. You know.
Yep.
And I had that going on, and both of them off the charts,
Yeah.
different ways, and
Mhm.
I can't handle it.
And I feel
did
like
my
that's
best and fumbling, and it was the only thing I could control.
I feel like that's a great theme for people listening to understand, is that, you know, there's never a perfect scenario in which, oh, you got all the time in the world and now's the time to run a race and now's the time to train. It's like you just fit it in.
Yes.
And then it's not about what preparation, it's about what you can handle mentally.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's at that. So at that moment, you can really take like when you go to the Grand Canyon, whether you're fit or not, it's going to be a wonderful escape, and that new reality that you have, and that couple days, you'll be there for. What you see in one day there will be spectacular.
Yeah.
And what you experience will be spectacular. And trying to get out on the South Rim will be spectacular.
So
And you think you can't do it, but you know what? You don't have a choice at that point.
Right.
You can't you've been warned a million times not to do it. So you shouldn't do it.
That's true.
So you're trying to prove to them that you can do it. And once you start climbing out at the South Rim, you have to do it. And then and then you get up, and it's like unbelievable.
yeah.
But before you do it, you should stand at the South Rim, look across, and you'll see it's physically impossible to do it.
We're gonna
Yeah.
get there Tuesday, and then we're gonna have Wednesday all day to like hang out in Flagstaff.
Wednesday, Flagstaff is fun. Yeah.
But I would like to go
you have to just
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 see
to
it.
appreciate it before we go in.
you go to the top of the South Rim,
Yes.
and you
Yeah.
look, and you can
I
see
do
the
wanna do
trail
that.
all
You've
the way
never
over
seen
and
the
back.
Grand Canyon?
No, I have.
Okay.
It's
I have,
but
but I wanna.
It's overwhelming.
You
Yeah.
can't
especially
even
from
see the North
Ohio.
Rim.
Right.
It's like you're like,
You see this.
Right.
You can see the path.
like-
I
by the
didn't
river.
appreciate it at the time that I mean, I did. Like, I love all that stuff, but like to go there and to actually focus in on like what we're going to do,
Yeah.
and see from point to point. Yeah, I want to go
Yeah.
do that before we go do it on
Yeah.
Thursday.
Yes. Yeah. You just need to look. You just need to stand there and look. And you should,
Right.
if you have a brain, you should shit yourself right there and think this is impossible. There's no way. And then you'll be in the right frame of mind
Mhm.
going in. Like, okay,
it'll sober you up real quick.
Yeah. That's
yes,
cool.
correct. You want to be it sobers you up. And then you go and you do what you need to do, and you make it all the way out. And when you make it out, it's like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
You got me fired up.
Yeah, it's fun. It's just like it's a great accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we're kind of rounding third here on the episode.
There we
So
go.
yeah, this was a great one.
This is awesome.
Honey,
Hey,
we've
thanks.
almost done 2
Thanks,
hours.
guys. Are you kidding?
Yeah,
No,
I'm
What do you
definitely
do?
not kidding.
No one's gonna watch for 2 hours.
They will,
They
They
will
will.
not
because of you.
no.
this
No.
is your personality
Oh,
to
but
a
here's-
T
You know what
right
would be
here.
funny if can you tell how many people watch?
Yes,
It'd be funny if 2 people watched. Can you tell if they watch all the way through? If they just
I
click
can.
it on
I
and
can.
up? You
Look, I
can't.
have all the statistics.
No,
I
you
got it. Yes, I'll tell you.
Could
And
we bet right now
we'll
who
have
watches
Connie-
all the way through? Like the percentage of people that can last to this point.
there's gonna be some people that
There were
No, it's
definitely.
2 hours.
no, you're too humble.
You're worth it.
yeah, you're worth it.
No, it's 2
And
hours.
Connie, and
It's 2
within a
hours of
couple,
talking about,
Thanks
like
to-
I said,
okay.
it's
not
Thanks
stupid.
to Thirsty Dog. This this podcast
So-
has been
yes. Thank you very much. Doug.
it makes it much more palatable.
no, not at all. We don't even
But-
need Thirsty Dog for that.
This, yeah. So in a couple months, you'll have a book out, and then we'll
Yes.
have you on again, and then I'll read the book, and then and then we'll parse apart some great stories.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
What-
So stay tuned, everybody.
Yes.
Let's go.
This
When
was-
is your book releasing?
I don't know.
At some point.
Couple months,
Couple
A
months.
few
okay.
months. Few months.
enough.
Yeah.
Winter.
Fair
Right?
enough.
and we'll have a great episode then, and
Yeah.
and
We're close. A lot
Yeah.
of words right now. A lot of words.
it's a lot of words. It's literally 4 times my book right now in terms of length. But it'll be good. So this is the first episode into the world of Connie Gardner, the
Thank you
ultramarathoning.
very much.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
I
Cheers.
drank all mine, so I'm good. Cheers.
Way to go.
Thank
Zach.
you,
Thank you.
everybody, for listening. And I hope you got a lot out of this. And I hope you really understand, the mindset of high-end performance, and when it comes to ultramarathoning, and you can sense
That's ridiculous.
you can sense the lack of
the lack of mind in high-end performance.
what other high-end performances there of setting, winning worlds, almost winning worlds, and setting American record.
almost. Oh, I got it. I did get
There's
it.
that. So you get a sense that it's not squeezing, it's not pressing, it's letting it come to you.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
You let it come to you.
Let it go.
And we thank you, Connie, for being on the
Thanks,
episode with
Zach.
us.
Thank you.
And thank you, Zach.
That was
Yep.
fun.
And this is the first of many. So thank you, everybody, for watching.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.